Alright, so here's the software side of this whole thing. And you'll have to pardon me if I don't sound very good or don't sound nearly loud enough, because this is one of those recording setups where basically no expense was made as opposed to no expense was spared. This is just using crap that I have laying around the basement, including one of these cheap little PC desktop microphones that you can buy like 20 of for $1 or something. And this one was sunning itself near the water heater, so that probably bodes very well for its quality. Anyway, what we've got here is the internal web page of the unit sitting at the screen that just average users would see. As you can see, there's a list of disks in here, and you can click on any one of these disks, get a directory out of it, and see what's going on. For example, there we have After Dark 3.0 screensavers, which are an essential computing tool. These are old Windows 3.1 programs for my vintage computers. We have Adobe Acrobat Reader 3.0, another piece of essential software, the Microsoft Windows Entertainment Pack. Basically just a whole bunch of Windows 3.1 software here. I have an Office 2000 CD2. There's Office 95, Quattro Pro 6, a Windows 95 disk, and a Windows 98 disk. So those were the things that I was using in this thing when last I had worked with it. Well, you can switch over to the administrator side of things, and I already authenticated with my password. It does challenge you for a password. You can see the dates set real accurately. Apparently this is 2024, which is very futuristic. It's also very odd because I have this thing set up to talk to a network time protocol server. So I'm kind of surprised by that. But here we can see some server specifications, the software that it's running. Of course, Procom technology and probably Access Communications are both defunct at this point, so this is probably the last release of software this thing will ever have. But it doesn't matter. It's not appreciably broken, and it does basically everything that a person could ask for. Anyway, along the side here, there's a set of tabs. You can configure your network protocols, the built-in web server, Windows sharing, NetWare sharing if you're sad enough to have anything to do with NetWare, Unix, network file system, and of course Macintosh sharing as well. So this thing can talk to pretty much any popular computer system out there as of the time of its manufacture, or even today. You can view information about the disks and drives, you can set security on them, you can eject each individual disk, you can look at an event log and see what happens here. For whatever reason it says it could not contact Billsdell, that's my computer in case you hadn't guessed. You can get statistics, how long the server's been up since it was last restarted, who's been in the system, what CDs they accessed, and if you were going to contact support, you could print out a report for that as well. There's a help system, there's help contents, and then of course there's the user and administrator toggles. So that's the built-in web interface. Let's look at a file share real quick here. I'll shrink that window out of the way so you can see a little bit of my desktop. And we'll go in here to its appearance on my network. This is the Windows share, of course, and you can see the same thing you could see from the web interface, all the individual CDs. So say we wanted to go in here and grab some Windows 3.1 software. That could definitely be done. I could just go here and say I wanted, well, not Microsoft Money, because I never have any of that. There's no need for software like that here. But the Microsoft Entertainment Pack, if I wanted to grab that, I could just pull that out of here and make a copy of it. And there it is. A little bit big for the screen. Of course, Windows XP's Explorer is completely retarded. And there's all the files from that particular CD. So that's basically what the thing does. And the only real difference that you'd see here if you were doing this from a Macintosh or a Unix machine or a Linux machine or even an OS2 machine, if that's your thing, and not that that's a bad thing, you would see pretty much the same thing. You'd be prompted to authenticate. Yeah, I know, you just saw me put a bunch of games in the trash. That probably ought to be a sin. You'd be prompted to authenticate with a username and credentials if it's required. I didn't require it on mine because this is a fairly trustworthy network, except for the guy running it. And then you would be able to access your resources. So there you have it, a complete tour of the Procom CD server and a definitive answer to just what that thing with all the CD-ROM drives in it really is. So thank you, and have a good rest of the day.